Joining us now are Notre Dame alums, Kristin and Bryant Young. Kristin, a former Notre Dame track and field athlete, star in the 400-meter, psychology major. Bryant is a former Notre Dame All-American who was selected 7th overall by the San Francisco 49ers in the 94 NFL draft. The Bryants have been extremely generous with their alma mater, so we thank you and we welcome you to the fight.
Thank you. It's awesome to be a part of the fight, and we're looking forward to the next few minutes or so.
Thanks for having
Kristin,
us.
no problem. And Kristin, here at the fight, we always go ladies first. So please talk to us. Tell us about your Notre Dame experience, why you chose ND, and how it's helped you homeschool your kids, because that's not an easy task.
It it is not an easy task, but I actually we love it. We love it. It's a team effort homeschooling them. So, but actually, I got to Notre Dame because my basketball coach in high school was from South Bend, Indiana, and I grew up in Germany. My dad was military, so my basketball coach was like, "I know this great little Catholic university you should apply to," and I knew absolutely nothing about Notre Dame football at the time. And I applied, got in. My dad said, "You're going." So I said, "I'm going." And then I was walking across campus in the fall of my freshman year. And I think I had my high school track t-shirt on. And John Miller was like, "Hey, we just started a girls varsity track team. Do you want to join?" And the rest is history.
All right, Bryant, you played in one of the most talented eras in the history of Notre Dame football. 8 of your teammates were drafted in the first round. I mean, 8. Many more went on to play in the league. So what are your fondest memories of those years? And you got to tell us, give us your best Lou Holtz story, please.
Well, there's so many memories. Going back my freshman year, we played against the Michigan game. It was a pretty tough battle, throughout that year, my freshman year. And then we had a chance to play in the Orange Bowl for a national title. And we were that close and came down to one play. And so fast forward to my senior year, we almost had another chance to win a national championship in '93, playing against Florida State. We beat them 1-2. And the next week we didn't do our job. And so we got a chance to play in a good bowl game. We beat the team that won the national championship. We felt like we should have been part of that. And but just in terms of Lou, I just remember Lou. We were in practice one time, and he was on his offensive guard, and he was really trying to get his attention and help him to understand the value of being accountable to your teammates. He wasn't doing his job, his assignment, and so he would miss blocks. So he pulled him out. And it was 10 versus 11 on offense. And so they ran the play. And so he had him watch the play twice. And so it was just a lesson learned in terms of do your assignment, because you got 10 other guys that are counting on you.
Bryant, your resume speaks for itself. 4-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champ. I know you've been a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And congratulations, by the way, your recent induction into the 49ers Hall of Fame. You've spent a lot of your playing days, post-playing days, coaching in college and the NFL, most recently with the Falcons. Do you want to get back into coaching at some point?
I would like to. It's a big part of me. I've been around the game for a long time. I think those that are poured into me, it's just fun to be able to give that back and to help a young man achieve his aspirations, his goals, and to help mentor young men. And so I had a chance to do that on the college level and in the NFL. And then I also volunteered in high school. I was able to coach my son for a year, and that was pretty awesome. But definitely look forward for another opportunity to get back in coaching. Sure.
That's cool. Kristin and Bryant, I want to talk now about your wonderful family. I know you have 6 kids. One of them, Colby, is up in heaven. I hope you're comfortable talking with us about Colby, what he meant, how he's affected your life, and the work you do today.
Well, I'll say this, thank you for bringing that up. And, Kobe, he was worried about that at some point we will forget him. And I made a promise to him. I said, Kobe, we will never, ever forget you. We will always, at every opportunity, mention your name and talk about you. And so what a great opportunity to talk about him and to honor him in such a way. But he was a very special kid, and for us in terms of helping us heal, it's great to talk about him. It's part of our process. Talk about the memories, the fun times, the goofy times, and the sad times. And his name is not a hush word around our house.
Right. Now, and we being in sports has been so interesting. It was great listening to the softball coach's story with her daughter, and I think she said she had leukemia or lymphoma. I can't remember which one she said, but just being in football, we for years would go to hospitals and visit kids and their families when before Kobe got sick, but it is completely different when it is your child in the hospital bed and people are coming to see you. We were at UF and we actually ended up going back to UF when Kobe did a clinical trial, and some of the football players came in who were Kobe's heroes. When Bryant was coaching at Notre Dame, Golden Tate was his favorite player. So for him to have football players come and visit him it just made his whole day. It made a treatment day go better. And when you're an athlete and you are visiting kids in the hospital, you don't realize how much you do actually change somebody's attitude for the day. It's amazing.
And I'll say this too. It's, being on that side of it, having a chance to cheer a young kid up who needs some inspiring and be loved on, but to be on the other side of that, our story is so different and unique. We just have such a different perspective and a compassion. We talk about having a compassion for something. We have a compassion for it because we've walked in those shoes and we continue to walk in those shoes. And so it's a great opportunity anytime we can get a chance to give back and be around somebody to inspire them and uplift their spirits.
And you have given back. You've been so extremely generous to your alma mater over the years with scholarships for students in need and the Young Family Director of Sports Performance, so much more. So I have to ask, why? What has Notre Dame meant to you that allowed you to give back like this?
Well, Notre Dame's a really special place for a lot of reasons. I met my beautiful wife there, and so,
Yes.
but before it's ever stepped foot on campus as a student athlete, there's a little hope and a dream of potentially playing there when I was younger, and I got a chance to take a field trip to Notre Dame in my 8th grade year, and so just an awesome experience. I was wild and just taken aback, and I was like, wow, if I ever have the opportunity to go to Notre Dame, I'm going. But just in terms of the relationships that I've built over the years, the people that have poured into me, the network has been awesome. It's just a special place. It's a place that helps you understand the give back and God, country, and then service to and having humanity. And so those things are really important to us. And so Notre Dame always will have a special place in my heart. And the experience that I had, my wife has had, I'm sure we would, she would speak the same, but definitely would like to have someone else potentially have that same opportunity that we had. And so we're excited to be able to do what we can. For us also, it's important that we take care of a responsibility that we have to be stewards over what God has really given us, our time, our treasure, and our talent. And so it's important that we touch areas that are important to us and meet needs in this country.
Kristin and Bryant, you are such wonderful representatives of our university. We cannot thank you enough for joining us on The Fight tonight.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be right back with more great Notre Dame athletic stories right after this short break.